The next one that we want to talk about is, let's say for example, we want to test hair, like hair, you know, normal hair, okay? We looked at this lady walking down the street, and this lady, she had flowing hair, but from a distance it was hard to tell if it was real or synthetic. All right? Now, most African Americans may wear tracks, they may wear weave, or they may wear extension. So if we see an African lady walking down the street and her hair is flowing in the sun and it's blowing in the wind, we ask this question, is it real or is it fake? Okay, so how are we going to figure that out? We can do one of two things. We can generate a hypothesis, so we did an experiment, so we can generate some question. We asked, we said real or fake, okay? Then we're going to generate a hypothesis. We're going to say the hypothesis, well, I believe that hair is fake. Okay, so we said the hair is fake. How are we going to tell that the hair is fake? If we have to come up with some ways that we can test to see if the hair is fake. Now, what are we going to do? We said E can be, we can pull on it. Of course, you don't want to do that, okay? Because most ladies do not want you yanking on the hair. So let's figure out another way. Well, we can look at the texture of it. We can analyze the texture. Okay? Well, if we don't analyze the texture, what else can we do? We can look at color. Okay? We can look at how well it moves. We can look at touch. We can feel touch. Okay? We can also just ask. We can also put it under a microscope and analyze one type of hair from another type of hair. Okay? That's another ways that we can come up and test it. And remember, we need at least a minimum, what we want to do in this, just for this demonstration, at least 5 trials. You do at least 5 trials to find out, to prove that your hypothesis is going to say, now I believe, I don't have to put I, but I'm going to put I believe hair that blows easily is fake. So I can use that as my hypothesis. Then I would have to go back and prove it. So what I could do in this case, I can say, well, I'm going to have to choose what method I'm going to use. Well, I can use a fan, have the lady stand next to the fan, and then turn on the fan, and then let the fan blow the hair. Or I can let her walk outside and let the natural wind hit it, and then I can check it that way. But you also got to remember different conditions. We talked about that earlier, variables. And variables are what? Conditions or factors that changes the outcome of your results or your experiment in this case. So after we do that, we have to go back and do an A for analyze. So we'll analyze the data. How many times the hair blew? How long did it stay up in the air? Or let's say, for example, was it all together when it blew, or did it spread out when it blew? So all of these are different things that you can do to actually tap in to get your data from what you're going to calculate. After you finish that, yes we did, now we're going to go to C. C is where we do our conclusion. Our conclusion was, yes, from what I see from the different places that we noticed the hair and from we tested, we could conclude that the hair is fake. Because guess what? It didn't move. So the fan blew it and the hair did like this. And then the wind blew and the hair did like that. No. And then someone moved the hair or tried to pull on it, and then the hair did like it. Okay, well, we know that no hair makes that sound, and no hair talks back to you and says, So we know that based on that, comparing with natural hair, which doesn't speak and does move, and it also doesn't say no, and then it doesn't make sounds like horse. So then we know that that hair must be fake, okay? So then we came with that conclusion. Now we have to write up this report and tell everybody what we discovered. So now we may call Cosmos magazines or Ladies magazines or whatever, one of those magazines. So you can write a report and send to those magazines, or you can do a research paper and show exactly what steps you did to carry out that experiment. Okay? Again, the next thing that we're going to talk about is the next one, is a football player. All right? So join me as I talk about how we're going to set up an experiment to test a football player ability to kick a ball. All right? Again, this is Andrew, making science a little bit more practical. Take care.